Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, how about hitting a modern forehand with topspin, the correct topspin? Stay tuned. All right, guys, so we got the fast track set up today. We got Coach Chris. He's gonna teach us how to hit with topspin, the modern forehand, and the full motion and the ranges of how to do it properly. All right, so in part one of this video, from the anti-chicken wing video, we caught the racket here, okay? We caught it, okay, from hitting Coach Chris in the face. So we kind of did this. Now we're gonna go into progression 2 and finish up the forehand, okay? Because we've gotten to here now, but what about bringing that elbow across that face now and dropping that racket back down? You want to teach that?
Sure,
Let's do that. Let's do that right now. What do we say? What do we do?
Well, in terms of bringing the elbow around, I think that's one way to say create topspin. I've heard it kind of mentioned many different times, but from the first video you had going through the ball, extending the arm out. The next part is how to get topspin. So not only are you going through, but you're doing this kind of windshield wiper thing that you see a lot of people do, which is this, bringing it over. So the racket goes from basically the 3 o'clock all the way to the 9 o'clock, right? So 3 to 9, or you can just wave. That's something that I like to use as a kind of way to kind of engage your wrist, your hand, and your arms. It's this pronation of here to here. So when you've got this nice extension, boom, boom, and then you can bring the elbow up afterwards, but it's all about making sure that you make contact, bring the racket over, and then elbow up to finish. You can bring it and catch the racket out to the side. That's
okay,
it.
Let's show us.
Yeah, so one thing to work on is when you're doing fast track is you can catch that, or you can start with your racket out in front and just working on out in front with just topspin. So racket out in front, boom, just using your hand. You're not using your arm, but just trying to see if you can lift it up with your hand. Oh, oops, sorry. And again, same thing. Hand and in front. Same thing. I got it written there. There you go. That's it. Using your hands a little bit more, right, for topspin. That's it. And again, same thing. And then when you're feeling like you can combine the two, racket back, and then using your hand at the very end. Racket back, then using the hand for a little bit more topspin. Racket back, right, using your hand. And again, same thing, racket back. Oh, sorry, racket back, same thing, using your hand. Racket back, same thing, using the hand. Same thing, using the hand. Good, and then if I want to isolate it, using the hand, isolate it, using the hand. As I bring the hand over, same thing. Boom. Same thing. Oh! And then now. And then go. And again, same thing. Oh. And we're done.
So I wanted to emphasize one thing, is that when Coach Chris talks about 3 to 9, right, we're actually not doing this completely. We still have forward momentum, right? As you see, like Federer and Djokovic, they actually go like this and then come like this. So it's not really this, it's more like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not this much of an angle.
Well, it depends on how much spin you want. If you want a lot more spin, then you got to work on brushing up more.
Right.
If you want to hit more through, but you never want to break your wrist so that it's pointing like this way, because then you're going to just frame the ball. But it's different degrees of how much more you want to lift up. Boom, up, right, going a little more through. But the goal is just making sure that you utilize your hand a lot more to get topspin. That's the end product. You've got the arm to come out straight, boom, hitting through. And then now you got to use your hand to put topspin on, right? Because the ball goes like this, right, up with a little bit more spin.
So at contact is when you should start brushing.
At contact is when you should start brushing, correct.
Right. So you got to feel it, got to see it. Yeah. Yep. So let's show the full motion the correct way.
Okay, full motion the correct way. here, using your hand. And again, same thing, preparing the racket, boom. And again, same thing, prepare and extend. Same thing, extend. Same thing, and again, same thing, out and accelerate. So you gotta make sure that you accelerate through the shot. Good.
Now put some real big spin on this one.
Oh, spin, okay.
Yeah.
Some more spin. And again, same thing.
You guys hear the sound
spin.
difference? You hear a sound difference?
Too much spin. And
You hear
again,
See, there's a sound
spin.
difference.
And again, spin. Now this is more flat. More spin. And then more flat. Just different types of ways to hit it, but really understanding how much spin you need versus how much flat through the ball you need.
All right, so Coach Chris, finishing it up, you made it look kind of easy, but it's actually not, right?
Nope.
The one thing we have to do is obviously is preparation, and then coming into that zone, contacting, and then doing the windshield wiper.
Yep, too many steps.
Right, so
it's best to isolate each one.
when you wanted to flatten it out, you actually just did this, and then it was a different kind of a arc with it. It was like more like this, like the blade of the racket kind of went like this.
Yes.
Versus when you spun it, you went like that.
Yeah.
You can hear the sound difference, right? So let's go over the main keys of this real quick.
Yep.
Go for it.
Okay, so first is what we worked on in the previous video, extension, making sure you're hitting through the ball, right? Through it, right? So sometimes you guys end up doing this, hitting it instead of actually going through and falling through. This video here that we just worked on is adding topspin. So when you hit through, obviously the ball is going to go out a little bit more, but in order to get the ball to come down into the court, we add a little bit of spin, which is using your hand, boom, to get that nice 3 to 9 sort of flick. And when you get that combined together, you get that nice kind of modern forehand, right? Whereas that boom,
Right.
where it all combines together, where you get that nice topspin.
And you were talking about grip is important too.
Yeah,
We
I
got to
think,
do semi-west.
Semi-Western, Western would be good too as well. Continental, that's where everyone's used to hitting it so far behind them, right? Continental is a little bit different in the way that you're swinging. There's really no way to have topspin as much. You're actually just bringing the ball low to high.
Yep.
But for semi-Western, it's more using your hand.
Right. All right, guys, watch Coach Chris. Don't swing like a chicken wing. Get on the fast track and get your tennis in the game. All right, Coach Chris, thank you so much. Where can we find you?
You can find me at CB10 Tennis.
All right, and
That's
it. Guys, get your game on the fast track. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.